he was getting scared because of my constant yelling. So what happened one time, and I write about this in the book, silent. So I went and see he's in the bathroom there, very young child, 3 or 4. He's trying to clean up after himself. He had taken his, oh, I was like, what are you doing? He's like, Mommy, I'm trying to clean up. Don't be mad. Like a small child. That kind of broke my heart.
Welcome to the Holly Hall Show. Let us explore the deeper meaning and purpose of life. This show delves into the mysteries of spirituality, the nature of consciousness, and the pursuit of the transcendence in the world that often feels chaotic and confusing. Each episode features thought-provoking conversations with experts in the field of philosophy, psychology, spirituality, and more. Sit back, relax.
Hi, everyone. I am interviewing today Sapna. She is the author of Yelling to Zenning. It's a new book that's out. You definitely have to grab your copy. We'll find out from Sapna all the details of where we can do that. But we're also going to talk to her about her story. How did she find herself writing a book from yelling to zenning, which I think is a brilliant title for it. And she's also a client of mine. So we're also going to talk about her journey to getting to becoming an author. And of course, there's a whole personal story behind that. And also some of the work that we did, the deep dive work that we did together to get her to be in a better place with it as well. And some of the remote viewing, which is going to shock some people. In my remote viewing with her, she had a correspondent who's someone a bit popular, very popular actually. We'll talk about who he is and how I saw that it was important for her to start a dialogue with him about the book, which she was resistant to do, but it turned out to be a very successful conversation between the two of them. So Sapna, welcome to the Holly Hall Show.
Thank you so much for having me, Holly. It's such a pleasure talking to you, always.
Oh, thank you. You're so welcome. So let's just talk a little bit about your story. What is the meaning behind, or the passion or the inspiration behind your book, Yelling to Zenning?
I wanted a place where I could put in my experiences in parenting, from parenting in one place. I have young mothers asking me often, where can we learn about your journey, or how did you get to where you are now? When people kept asking me, I thought, yeah, I think I need to write a book about this, about my journey, and taking that conscious parenting tools that I learned and put it in one place, like how I applied them in my own parenting journey. So that's how the book came up. I thought people should read about this so they don't feel alone. Basically, when I started my parenting journey, there was nobody there talking about the struggles of parenting. It was supposed to be all sweet and cute, and a parent should know it all and how the parent has in control. But nobody spoke about the backside, the behind the scenes of parenting, the struggles of it. So I thought, yeah, I need to share my story.
Thank you. And I love the title. I know it took you a while to get to that title, but it very much speaks to what the book is about. Exactly that. And I can't, and unless, if you're listening and you're a parent, you've said you've never yelled at your kid, I call BS, because all of us at one time or another have yelled at our kids, if not more often. And I remember a time in my life where I was that. In fact, my daughter remembers it. She said that was, I know she called me mean mommy. So she was about 8 years old. And I remember her saying, yep, I remember mean mommy. And that was when I was very unhappy with my job. It was a highly stressed job. I was getting reprimanded constantly at work because of mismanagement. And it was a physical job as well. So mentally and physically, I came home with just a short fuse, a very short fuse. So even though she may have been being reprimanded for certain things, my level of my tone in my voice, it was elevated because I was not in the mood. And so I think we're humans, and fortunately I left that job when she was 6. So that's why she remembered, because she saw a change after that. So I think that's important, that we honor that side of us. And I want to use that segue that you did take the conscious parenting coach with Dr. Shefali, just a shout out around that course, and you follow her work on conscious parenting. And I know a few of her students or a few of her followers have also followed up with writing similar books because of taking her course of conscious parenting. And that was her first famous book, was Conscious Parenting, which is when I met her as well. And I think the yelling to Zenning, I like that Zenning part. So do you talk a lot about meditation? Is that where the Zenning part comes into? And what is your full name, by the way? I didn't want to botch it up. So, because your full name is the author title of your book, which you can get on Amazon, correct?
Yes, that's correct. It's Sapna Radha Krishnan, 4 syllables, but people call me Sapna Rad. It's easier. But if you want to look it up on Amazon, it's Sapna Radha Krishnan. It's 4
Okay, and it's
syllables.
Yelling to Zenning. They're going to find it right away. And that's that beautiful book in the background. I love the tones and the colors of it as well, too. So what is the Zenning? Obviously, I think we kind of know the yelling part. What is this Zenning information in your book?
Yeah, the Zenning information, it's a small part, but I write about my story first. I want other parents to relate to
Okay,
what I've
give
written.
us a short version of that story.
Okay, here's the thing, the story I write about the story in the book. So when my son was about, I don't know what time, what age they potty trained, I even forgot the age. But when he was getting potty trained, he was having accidents. And that was driving me crazy on top of, I would turn into some kind of a monster, sort of screaming on top of my voice, because I would have just changed him. I'd have taken him out, and he will have an accident. And it was driving me crazy. And this child, new on this planet, trying to understand their body, trying to understand their control systems, he was getting scared because of my constant yelling. So what happened one time, and I write about this in the book, that I didn't hear any sounds. I just finished my work, and I'm looking for him. It was silent. So I went and see he's in the bathroom there, very young child, 3 or 4. He's trying to clean up after himself. He had taken his, I was like, what are you doing? He's like, Mommy, I'm trying to clean up. Don't be mad. Like a small child. That kind of broke my heart, that I had scared him so badly that instead of coming to me, he was trying to take care of himself at such a young age. That kind of woke me up. I'm like, okay, this is not what I want. I want my child to come to me. His first thought should be, let me call mama, rather than, oh, I'm scared to call her, she's going to kill me. I didn't want him to think that way. So that's one
Yeah.
story.
But
So
hey, I got to give him some credit though, and use some credit. Somewhere you taught him responsibility. Like, oop, this is my responsibility. It's my poop. I better clean it up.
the
So there's a
responsibility,
little light around the little shining silver lining around the cloud. Okay, so you realized, oh my gosh, my son is freaking out now too. I've got to do something about this.
yeah, that would have led to a disconnection on a long run. And me, I would have soiled our relationship with so much yelling. There would have been disconnection, and I wouldn't be enjoying. And I'm very proud. I enjoy a very connected relationship now as a teenager with him, and that is because of
Teenager.
my work.
Yeah. And you know what? This could have manifested into something physical. He could have had problems with, going to the washroom or even going in public places to the washroom, that this could have manifested into a fear around going to the bathroom. So good for you. And then, so how did you turn it around? What did you do?
So for me to be able to handle whatever comes up, shows up in the form of a struggle in him, I should be able to handle it. And for me to be able to handle it, I had to do my inner work. Like, why was it like children are slow, they are present, they are soaking up their environment. He would wake up in the morning, take some time to dress up, and I was so anxiety driven to get on time at some place, and I was forcing him, pushing him, stuffing his breakfast. I'm not very proud of all this, but again, I'm not judging myself. That is what it was back then. But this child, I was rushing him, and this, I was putting on my own trauma of being late to school onto him, trying to protect him from all the feelings I felt. And this was not helping, actually. I was just dumping my own traumas on him. The goal was that he had to get on time. He need to have his responsibility. But what was the tool I was using? Yelling, rather
Mm,
than, being strategical, right? This is slow. He's not able to do it. So I could be helpful, right? Like, let me help you with certain things. I could wake up 10 minutes earlier. I could wake him up 10 minutes earlier. I could, have him eat something in the car if we are running late. But none of that required yelling. I
mhm.
needed to be a partner. And the yelling came from my own unhealed baggages, the old traumas. That was a big aha for me. Oh my God, it's me. I need to look into my own stuff. That's how
Right.
it started. And the zenning part is when you're cool, I have so many choices, suddenly, so many choices. Like I said, I can wake up early, I can wake him up early, I can lay out his clothes earlier, I can, pack something before night so he's not rushed. So many options. But how do I get to those options? Through Zenning. Through that Zen, we can look into those options. Otherwise, we are defaulting into our old patterns of yelling, the same old things.
Right. I know a lot of people can relate to this, whether it's themselves having their experience with their own parents or them having this experience story as well with their own children. Because like I said, we have times in our life, even pockets in our life where, I mean, kids forget that we're humans and we have a life and we have issues and we've got jobs that we don't want to go to or that we're in a hurry to get to, or possibly we want to keep the house calm. I hear this a lot with my clients when their husband comes home not in the best mood, then they're trying to get the kids to be good and pick things up and be calm and prepare this house for, and this can affect the children as well. But we do have to also teach our children to take responsibility for their reactions. Somehow we teach them this. And how do we teach it? We teach it by example, just like you did. You are taking responsibility for your own actions and you changed things. And even though that's not a verbal conversation you're having with your child, you're not literally, putting it on a whiteboard going, look at what we did when you were 8. She did this and she did that. So when we plant seeds like that, sometimes we don't see if it's affecting the children right away, but later on, like you said, you have a great relationship with him as a teenager as well. So the Zenning part for you is just more of looking at a calmer, quieter, more productive way to get the results that you want, which is we need to get out of this house at a certain time, right?
Yeah, and what can I do about it? What are my options? What are my choices? What is easy for me? But
Yeah.
it's hard to look into those choices or options if we are defaulting into our old patterns of raising the voice, trying to control, feeling anxious. It's hard to get to those choices
I
from
had
that.
that conversation with, and your child is a different personality than you are. And this is something we have to observe as well. I had that conversation with a client who struggles to get her child just out of the house and get to school on time. And because she drives her child to school, and her child's 12. And after having a longer conversation, I found out that the school is only a 10-minute walk away. She actually doesn't have to drive her to school. And she didn't want to eat. Like, she would sit there for breakfast and didn't want to come to the breakfast table and didn't want to eat. And I was like, put a banana in her backpack and make her walk to school. She's 12. Well, she won't get there in time. Well, then she has to suffer the consequences, right? That's part of conscious parenting. The teacher's going to be upset. All the kids are going to be looking at her. She's disrupting class.
Yeah.
Just do that for like a week and she'll probably change her game around that. Right now, you've got this intense dialogue of mother-daughter fighting every single morning.
Yeah.
There's a big giant fight. And I think at 12, I mean, I was walking to school when I was like 7, and it was a half an hour walk to school. And so we can do it. Now, what advice would you give to a parent who's got a younger child who just doesn't even want to get out of bed?
Now, there are so many reasons why. First, we need to look into why is this child not getting up in the morning? Because children are curious beings. They like to jump out of the bed. They like to learn. They like to play. I So why is the child having trouble getting up in the morning? Is the child sleeping late? Is the child See, we can get to the strategies. But if the parent is getting worked up as to she's not getting, or he or she's not getting up in the morning, that is because something is bothering them from their own unhealed self. Because there's so many strategies. Child is not waking up. I had a client one time who complained, my child is not waking up, my child is not waking up. And I asked them, why is, have you ever considered, he's a teenager, have you ever considered how tired he must be with all the activities? They're focusing on him not waking up rather than why is he sleeping? Why does he need to sleep so much? Is he tired? Is he, is he going through something, turmoil, some kind of a relationship? Is he
Sometimes they're up late on their devices.
yeah, but if they're coming up from a story that a child should wake up so and so time and should be this, then they will be acting out from those stories and those belief systems and those traumas rather than troubleshooting why is the child not waking up. And if they have to, do they have to wake up? Because sometimes you don't have to, if they have a longer morning, why not? Why can't they sleep? Because we have these stories. I have mothers, Holly, coming up and telling me I have trouble waking up. And my question to them is, why do you need to wake up? If you have that, the space that you can sleep an hour extra, because they have a story going on that you have to wake up early. You wake up early, wow, fine. But why? Just because
Yeah,
they think if I don't wake up, I'm lazy. That story is making them pressurize, guilt, beat themselves up. So when I ask them, why do you need to wake up? If you can sleep and get some extra 1 hour of rest, why not? Suddenly they're like, yeah, why am I putting so much pressure? So we don't see
that's
the why.
true. That's great. That's great advice. And I find that, so I want to segue to that too. So you're also a parenting coach. What is your website?
It's
Or the content?
sapnarad.com.
sapnarad.com. Okay. So yeah, I found that as well too. I had a client who was about her daughter with math, and she was about 11 years old. And they were getting tutors and everything. She just wasn't doing very well in math, which is a lot of us girls, we get that. I didn't do well. I had to have a tutor in math as well. But back in my day, I could fail like grade 7 if I didn't do well in math. In this day and age, you can't fail in grade school. In high school, I think you can in some places, but in grade school, you can't. So I was saying to her, is she going to be a mathematician when she grows up? No. Scientist? Probably not. Yeah. And even if she is, she'll learn it later on. I think the pressure that you're putting on her, and then she couldn't get her up in the morning either, which means she didn't want to go to school because there was math. The whole struggle with math was just ruining everybody's life. And to this day, I'm glad I know the basics of math, but everything that I learned in math, like geometry and fractions and algebra, I've never used it and don't really care about it. But if the struggle that they have with their parents around it and their school, that they're going to remember forever.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to affect them forever. So sometimes, yeah, you got to pick your battles, right? Pick your battles, because they're going to figure it out sooner or later. If he wants to be a mathematician, he'll figure it out.
So true. Priority, right? Priority.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's not, but there are certain cultures and also certain parts of the world where academia is extremely important. And there's a lot of pressure on children around that. And it's interesting. I was reading an article yesterday where where schooling started. And it used to be hundreds of years ago where you would just think that's what Sunday school was. You would just go to school for a couple of hours on Sunday when the parents went to church and learned a few things. Other than that, you worked on the farm, you worked at home, you help your mom and dad as soon as you can. And that was it. You worked you contributed to your community. Schooling was not a massive byproduct. Now it's a money-making byproduct of being human right now. And I don't think it's as important as we're making it. So another question that I have for you is, because I get this a lot from parents, is how can you, if you find yourself in the heat of the moment, you get carried away. We have those days where you have this out of body experience and you're watching yourself going crazy and you're like, what am I doing? How do you stop it immediately? What would you do to stop it immediately. So it's helpful for your child as well.
First, owning up is so important. If you think you're not doing anything wrong, then we're going to be repeating the same patterns. Once we own it, okay, we need to make a change. The second step is we prepare for it outside the moment. What are my triggers? What triggers? Like for me, being on time is important. Now it's important, but I don't get triggered as I'm still on time. But what was the trigger all about? I was trying to run away from some kind of a shame. So is it that once we learn about our triggers, now we know, like now I know it's a trigger for me. So I work around it. I work before the moment. So I have a party to go. Is it important to be on time, that I'm pulling everybody, creating a big mess at home? No, it's not important. So I know that. A meeting, yes, it's important. So what do I do? Is somebody else involved for me to get? So it's strategy, right? I'm planning for it before the moment. Outside of that moment, I'm prepared. I
So
have one.
preparing.
Yeah, preparing helps. And initially what I did, I knew certain triggers, and sometimes it, like you said, it takes over you. I knew at that point I'm creating this fear in my child. I would tell him in the moment when I'm yelling, I would tell him, this is not about you, it's about me. I'm going through something, don't make it about you. I would
Yeah.
tell him that
Yeah,
and step
that's good for
away.
you. Boys are so much easier than girls. I will tell you that much. My daughter, I would stop myself and go, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm out of line. Mommy's having a bad day. Or there was one time when I would have a habit of saying no to something right away, or yes to something right away. Sorry, that's the people pleasing in me. I would say yes to something right away. Like, can I go over to a girlfriend's place? Oh yeah, sure. Then after I'd like, oh, what girlfriend? Where are you going? Is her mom home? So I'd come back with all these questions, right? And then if I didn't like, the answers, safe for her, I'd go, no, I'm sorry, you can't go, hon. When her mom's home, you can go there. And she would get so mad at me. And I'd say, I'm so sorry. I'm just that kind of person who thinks later, because I want you to do these things. So she got mad at me. I liked how brave she was. She got mad at me. She goes, Mom, I hate it when you do that. And I did it because my mother would get mad at me and never explain anything. And so I thought, I'm going to be that parent that's transparent. I'm going to be transparent with my child. And so but that made her mad, because when I acted that way, she was mad at me, and she liked being mad at me. And then when I came back and apologized or explained myself, she felt guilty for being mad at me. So she was like, I hate it when you do that. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm about communication, girl. So I'm not changing that part. But she jokes about it now. She's in her 20s and she goes, Mom, it's all about communication. Got to talk about everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And sometimes
Go ahead.
communication, we need to give the words. We don't have the words. First, we have to get those words. And then we have to give the words, because children don't know. They don't have those skills yet. So we have to tell them, give them those words so they mirror back those words to us when needed. And it starts from us, like, as you know.
And then and I think age appropriate. There are certain, a window, like you kind of know your own child, like what if you try to know your own child, what they can handle and what they can't. Like mine used to say a lot, I am the worst daughter in the world. I'm the worst daughter in the world. And she did that a lot. And I said, no, you're not, honey. You're the best. It's, just things happen. That's life. Everybody does things and acts certain ways. Then she got a certain age in her early 20s when she said that. And I said, you're going to stop that. That's a big guilt trip. I'm not taking ownership of making you feel better because you think the worst mom, you're the worst daughter in the world. And so she was a young adult at that point. She didn't like it. She got pretty mad. But there was a time where I was like, I'm not going to have this guilt trip dialogue with you. But I wouldn't have done that when she was 10. That wouldn't have been appropriate. That was her way of dealing with feeling bad. So I think with your book, when we did a lot of coaching together, as an astrologer and looking up me as a clairvoyant, remote viewing. And I just want to change gears here. You practice NLP, neurolinguistic program, like I do. and I've been certified with another NLP practitioners, 2 different ones. But Richard Bandler, if anybody knows neurolinguistic programming, you've got to check it out, because it is all about your thoughts. And you used a lot of that, just explaining how you dealt with your son, is that there's other ways of looking at this. There's other ways of reacting to this. There's other ways that we can think about it. And we don't have to take action on every thought that we have as well, which is a big NLP. So Richard Bandler is the grandfather, is a father, is a founder of making this popular years ago, decades ago, actually. And you know him personally. And I said to you, there's somebody that you know that's very popular or very famous in this, and this, you need to reach out to him about your book. And she goes, oh, that's Richard Bandler. No. And I'm like, Richard, what? You know Richard Bandler? And you're writing a book using NLP. You need to contact him. So tell us what happened.
Oh yeah, he has been my mentor for a while now and very dear to me. But there's a level of respect, there's a level of, I can't just, I have his number, but I can't just text him, Yeah, we are not texting buddies. And so you told me, reach out to him. And I'm like, what? No, there was immediate resistance in me because
big resistance you had. I was like a dog with a bone. I kept bugging you and bugging you.
Big resistance because I didn't want to cross the line with him, but he's a sweetheart. But I didn't want to be asking for something because of, again, stories, right? We are so hesitant. We are easily giving, but when we have to ask, the resistance comes up. All the stories come up. What would have happened, Max? He would have said no, but just asking and hearing that rejection from him, the thought of it was a little scary. But you kept nudging, and I'm like, okay, what's the worst thing? He'll say no. And then I did reach out to him, and he wrote a line.
Grab your book and show the page.
So here let me see. No.
Pull it in front of your shirt a little bit further back. There you go. Yeah.
So
see, look at that.
He read the book. He liked the
book.
He
endorsed it. He read it. He did the forward on it. Like,
yeah, I gave him the book, and he's like, I love the color. And it's such a blessing. It's such a blessing. And you made me see this route. I would have never taken this. I would have not. No. So you gently pushed me towards this. And also, I have to address this, Holly. There are so many times I've been in distress because I could not see the way out on the other side. I was unable to see the other side of the distress. You helped me see things. You helped me give insight into what's on the other side. Sometimes it's so hard to see when we are in the muck of things, or we feel like this is the end of the world. You have helped me see the other side of it. And we can't see it, right? We can't see it. But that hope that there is
you're not there.
Yeah, it's so helpful. Suddenly you have hope now. There is some ease. You feel at ease because you're telling me that this is what is on the other end of what you're going through. That is so helpful, because without that, I would have been wallowing in whatever distress was happening in my life. So you show me the other side. It's been so helpful. Gently guiding me, you pushing sometimes, if I need a little harder push, you push. And everybody needs this, I feel, not just as a coach and a clientele. Everybody needs one person to help them.
Encouragement
to help you through things. So you are my coach for life, you know this. And I really encourage people.
That'll be my new tagline, coach for life. I'll do a membership. I'm your coach for life. Thank you.
Coaches need coaches.
So much. That means a lot to me. And, this book is going to make a difference for other people as well. It doesn't look like a giant book. It looks like a pretty easy read and a quick read for anyone who needs support in yelling and getting down to Zenning. I think that's extremely important. And at any age, even if your kids are grown up, there's never too late to change your relationship with yourself and change your relationship. And I think that some of the experiences that you've had with me and what you had with Richard Bandler, and then writing the book, and even taking a look at your own vulnerabilities and your blocks that were holding you back, around the book is extremely important journey for you. So not only when you're an author of a book or you birth a business, the journey to get there is, people don't see that. They just see you open the door, or they just see you sign your signature on a book before you give it to them. They don't realize the journey to get to that place. So I really am honored, and I thank you for sharing that journey. And I know it's going to help a lot of people. I've got a lot of clients that are authors, and I know the journey that they go through. It's quite a struggle. Some write a book in 6 months, some are in their 6th year, still haven't finished the book and working on it, taking breaks from it, because it's, most of the time, it's a very vulnerable journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unless it's nonfiction, unless it's fiction. And then that day, then there's like creator's writer's block or something that's not really, unless it's, or it's a personal story and you're not telling people it's a personal story. So thank you for sharing. What is there any last thing that you would like to share with other people, that you would like to advise other people? Do you have another book? Do you have another book in your head you think you might be wanting to write?
In the future, yes, but I want to focus on the journey of this book right now.
Good.
It's been good. The journey has been good. The conscious parenting tools that I learned have been fabulous. So you will see yourself in the book. You'll see my way out of the distress, out of whatever I'm going through. You'll learn tools, tons of tools and strategies. The stories, I have put in cute stories from my life, from my wisdom teacher. It's an easy, fast read. You know, you can finish it within a day. And it's fun. You know, if we have a choice, why be stuck?
Yeah. I always tell people, when we come here to grow, you know, our souls, we come in as human form to grow and to learn. And there are 3 most important factors that teach us the hardest lessons in life. We can't avoid one, we can avoid the other 2, but most of us experienced all 3. And that is being born, getting in a long-term relationship, and having children.
Yes, that's true. The third part is so true. Children are your
with,
gurus.
I agree. With that being said, thank you again, Sapna. And everyone, thank you for listening. If you want to get her book, get to Amazon right away. Go to Yelling and Zenning. I'm going to put all her links down below from the video. Go to her website. I know she's on Instagram. She'll probably has a whole bunch of other social medias or ways to contact her. She'll welcome any of your questions in an email. And for now, thank you, everyone, and namaste.
Thank you.